Cell phones are very difficult for dementia residents to manage and negotiate in dementia units for many reasons. Firstly, they forget to recharge them. Secondly, it's too difficult to negotiate plans. Thirdly, they tend to overphone anywhere up to 20 to 30 times a day, friends and family. So all of these reasons and more makes it difficult for them to be able to use a cell phone. Often, of course, they're elderly, they've got arthritis or osteoarthritis, difficulty with dexterity, that makes it difficult. And many of this generation, or most of the generation, the elderly people in dementia units, were brought up on the radio and then television, not cell phones. So it's not really DNA'd in or wired in for them to be able to unconsciously be able to use a cell phone. Whereas in time, of course, that will change with future generations. But at this moment, dealing with the residents that are in dementia units now, I've only found that one or two have even been able to come in using a cell phone. And one of the women that was using a cell phone, she was in her early 60s and she phoned her family constantly all day. And so it became unmanageable. And the guy came in and he was using the cell phone fairly well initially, but he seemed to lose interest in it quickly for some reason. His wife, though, did visit regularly, so he didn't really need to phone her because he was seeing her. So there was no motivation for him to have to phone out. And other than that, I haven't really seen any other dementia residents, able to use cell phones. So really, by far the best way to use cell phones in a dementia unit is, rather than the dementia resident themselves having one, is using the cell phone that you have as the visiting relative to call out friends and family that the dementia resident wants to phone. That's by far the best way. So when you come in, just say, "Mum, I've got my cell phone with me. Who would you like to call?" And let's say she always likes to call her favourite son. She may only have one son, but say her son is the person she's always keen to phone. If you have prepared him in advance through texting and saying, "Look, I'm at the dementia unit and I'm going to get Mum to phone you in a few minutes if you can be ready for that." Just prepare in advance so that when you say to your mother and prepare your mother for the cell phone call and say, "Look, Mum, we're going to call," say it's John, "we're going to call John, your son. I know you always like to call him, and I'm just preparing you with that now so that you know when he answers that it's him and you can talk to him." She'll be delighted about that. So you've prepared her, you've prepared him, so that when you make the phone call, he answers, your mother anticipates that, she's excited, she's expecting it, and she can then speak to him. So that is really the best arrangement. So each time you come, you can ask your mother who it is that she would like to call, and then you call out from your phone and she can speak to them. Far, far better than the dementia resident trying with anguish to get a phone call out of the dementia unit. It's far too difficult. The charge nurse is always busy. There's always only one or two phones. There's a whole line of dementia residents wanting to call. The staff haven't got time to negotiate it. Often the person they're phoning isn't free, etc., etc. Whereas if you can just set up the phone call in advance, so the person receiving it knows that they're going to be getting the phone call, your mother's prepared, and then she can have a lovely conversation. And this reduces so much stress, all that anguish of trying to get out to speak to their family member is extinguished when they can actually make the phone call and speak to them happily and easily when you are there as a relative supporting the whole venture. So this is how cell phones do play a vital role, but not with a dementia resident having one, but a relative having one and using it on behalf of the dementia resident, so they can call out to friends and family liberally and with great freedom and as they wish. This is their freedom. This can be their freedom in this way. So I've written these 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, both on Amazon and on my website in the description below. Thank you for your subscriptions and likes, and please subscribe those interested in the channel. Thank you.